Two dope dudes, bringing you the news, leading you to much success with all their insightful views. Do you grow yourself or buy from the top shelf? Are you here to take the reins and gain back your health? Whatever it is, you know the biz. Leave a like, crack a pipe, and let's get on with it. If you want to acquire the knowledge, you don't have to go to college. You can just come hang with Aaron and Dave.
Yo, welcome to the Elevated News Podcast for Two Dope Dudes. We're a podcast focused on discussing local and national cannabis news and culture. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Dave.
He's actually Dave today. What's up, dude?
Not too shabby. How are you?
Good, man. We were just having fun doing some dabs, and
That's it.
Figured we'd get the show started.
I feel properly dabbed.
Yeah, man. Hey, this is going to be the 420 episode, I guess. Coming up here.
Happy 420 to
420
all of
on
you.
Saturday. Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
Bicycle Day on Friday.
You know, yes. I like
Actually-
me some bicycle day too.
Yeah, Bicycle Day on Friday. Or, no, I'm sorry. 420 is this Sunday, not Saturday.
You're
and
right.
Bicycle Day is on Saturday. Yeah, because Saturday I'm going to go see Terrapin Flyer at the venue in Aurora.
Nice.
And it's Bicycle Day, and it's going to be a great time.
Hell yeah.
And that's what I have to say about that. I'm going to go see all my friends.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
it proper.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I was telling somebody about Bicycle Day the other day, and I had to relook up the information, and it had slipped my mind, and I was reminded that Bicycle Day started in DeKalb, Illinois.
No.
Yes, there was a professor at Northern Illinois University who coined the phrase Bicycle Day in 1985. And he made it on the 19th because the 16th is during the week and it's not a good time to celebrate.
Yeah, I thought, well, I mean, I know it all comes from, what's his name? Is it
Albert
Albert
Hoffman.
Schweitzer?
Yeah.
Was it
I thought it was Albert Hoffman.
Hoffman? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Albert Schweitzer, fucking the other guy. Yeah, never mind. Yeah. He rode his bicycle.
Yeah, he ingested and synthesized LSD and started feeling weird and had his lab assistant bring him home, and they rode bikes because it was the war and you couldn't drive.
Yeah. Bingo.
So, yeah, good times. But yeah, right out of DeKalb, that's where Bicycle Day, the celebration started in 1985.
That's awesome.
That's cool as shit. Yeah.
That is super cool.
So, whether you're going to be enjoying yourself on Bicycle Day or 420, do it correctly, do it safely, set and setting, right? Responsibly, don't go overboard.
I mean, hey, if there's any day to go overboard, 420 is the one that people are going to probably do it.
Yeah, dude.
But going overboard with cannabis is not.
It's hard. It's pretty. You're gonna fall asleep. Your tummy's gonna hurt, and you're gonna.
Oh, For the pros listening to us right now, everybody's fine. We're all gonna be all right. But
yeah, because we know our limits.
Yeah,
we're not new at this.
Yeah, if you are new at this, low and slow is the old
like barbecue, baby.
Yeah.
People go, what do you like your dabs at? I'm like, low, like 540, baby. I like to taste my terps. You know what I mean? I don't like to burn them off. I like to get the full experience.
Yeah,
that's just how I roll.
Bro,
shit.
I don't even know my numbers. I'm like a sleep number.
You don't know your sleep number anymore?
Mm-mm. I don't know my smoke number neither. Neither one of them.
How are you? You know what? And it's been a while because we've had guests the last couple episodes. It's been a minute since we've hung out or talk shit online. You know what I mean? For the masses. How do you feel like your limit is now that you took your tea break and now you're kind of like back. It's been like probably almost a year, right?
Yeah. 'Cause it was sober October, so yeah, it's like a
Right.
year and change now, I think.
So like,
Um,
yeah.
I,
Sorry to put you on like a real like honest spot or a real like
no,
on
no,
the
it
spot where you got
actually
to like be introspective and think about it. But
no, I
I was
did.
just
Well, the
wondering.
thing is, I have thought about it recently too, because like I could tell a massive difference in my ability to eat edibles like they don't exist anymore, right?
Okay.
Um, I think once we get to that point, and maybe it's just digestion rate anyway, but like
Sure.
it definitely it does something to you. Eat too much edibles, eat something that is a good edible, eat too much of it, and I promise you feel it, right? But like there's some of us that just don't, I don't know what it is, if it's our we're just not absorbing it right or whatever, but I think it plays a lot in tolerance too. I think when we're consistently dabbing concentrates and smoking full jeters by yourself, and you get to a everything is so concentrated with
Mm-hmm.
THC that like the THC just doesn't
Yeah.
we're I think we're doing so much of it,
Mm-hmm.
hunting other parts of it.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
not like, because I mean, like, if THC was doing the job, we wouldn't need so fucking much of it. That's my kind of theory at it. But
I think
yeah,
it used to talk to me about uh these pens, and they're so concentrated, and if you're just doing them throughout the day, you know,
yeah.
suddenly you're driving home doing little hits and you're so high, you're blasted higher than you've been, and it's just cuz it's like this big buildup,
Well, my favorite thing,
you
like,
know.
as long as you have a quality product to start with, and you're smoking a quality product, um, if you keep ripping distillate, I have one too, right? If
Right.
you keep ripping distillate, it's moonshine. And if you're telling me that,
Mm.
well, that's not doing anything, I don't really feel that. That's just for flavor, it's whatever. I'm like, bruh, you're taking in
Flavor.
more THC than anybody. Like, there's no, and it's become so normalized because of things like the other vapes in the world, whatever, the Nick vapes and shit. Bingo bango. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, all of that has led us to just resting on pens. I was talking to um uh somebody the other day, and they were like, yeah, I don't really smoke a lot, but that banana smoothie thing that we bought up here last time, it tasted so good that I caught myself just kind of sitting there, just going at it, going at it, going at it. And then I was like, holy shit, like, I haven't been this cooked in a while, but like, I kind of want to hit this more, right?
Yeah.
It's a flavor thing. And I think yeah, we've broken our tolerances for flavors and things too. But anyway, um, yeah, I think that I probably smoke enough vape pens and
Yeah.
enough concentrate and enough infused joints at this point that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is the point where all of us get to, where we're like, okay, like, why? I think that once we hit here, everybody's like, okay, why is this thing criminalized or illegal or
Right.
anything? Because it is not doing much anymore. It's just not.
Yeah, I was doing a
It's
dab last
there.
night thinking like, man, I did a dab like 45 minutes ago, and I'm doing another dab now cuz I don't feel it.
Well, and
And
it's
like
it's
I
just
was
so
like, man, I'm like really, you
short
know.
lived.
Yeah.
It and That's why. And if y'all have listened for a while and you've heard me say it a million times, THC is boring.
Right.
THC doesn't do what we're all super looking for, right? In fact, it probably numbs some of the what we're looking for. It's so much of a
Yeah.
thing that's doing whatever it's doing, just because, like, to me, it's not like, I've always told you, right? Like, there's a box of comfort that we live in,
Mhm.
and you're somewhere within this box,
Sure.
and there's a floor and there's a ceiling. THC is the middle.
Right.
Period. The end. It doesn't take you up or down, right? Terpenoids do that. THC will put you in the middle and just leave you homeostatic and comfortable in the middle. And like, to just for some of us who want to go down, or some of us who want to go up, or whatever, to always be drawn to the middle is like
Boring.
we're missing something.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. You know what? I had forgotten that, and I like that way that you describe it. Like it's a box, and like you're trying to get to the middle, and maybe you need to go up and to the left, or up and to the right, or maybe you need to come down to the right, and
and and
yeah.
that's where, like, just thinking vertically, okay, and
Hmm.
going up and down in this space, and not so much even
Right.
linearly. If we're going up and down, everybody can understand what it feels like to be,
Up and then down.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when we're up and we're hey, and it's very descriptive of that sativa and indica approach towards this thing as well.
Hmm.
But like there's many different boxes that exist to begin with, right? Because like if it was all just mental health, well, that'd be
Yeah.
easy, right? We know what
Yeah.
anxious is, we know what depressed is. But then there's the other side of it where it's like just general life, right? Happy, unhappy, all the pain, no pain, like, and it's
I,
not even that it's no pain as much as like euphoria, because
yeah.
the opposite of whatever it is kind of that other end. But um
I've definitely felt that as I've been getting older. I'm hitting 45 this year, and y- it being a box, and like you wake up in the morning and you don't know where you're at. Like it used to be like when you're young, you can just like get up and you like whatever it is, you can just power through it, and you know what I mean? You have the energy to do things. Now it's more like, man, how much energy do I have during the day? Like I can want to go out in the yard and cut down a bunch of trees and like move a bunch of stuff and then go play disc golf. But like, man, sometimes I barely have the energy to walk around the house.
well, and I think a lot of times that is a cognitive energy, which I think is why a lot of us consume cannabis, because it puts us in a state of mental comfort where we are able to go, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
at least I'm fine now. I know what the task is at hand and I can do that.
Right.
Um, I've always had this hope that, like, and it's not the hope as much as like, please don't let cannabis be the reason that is a thing. But we see
Hmm.
so many long-term cannabis consumers, your Willie Nelsons and your Snoop Dogs
Sure.
and your Tommy Chong and Cheech Marins and whatever, right? Like there are people who have consumed this plant, and musicians, right? Like plenty of
Sure.
musicians who get up on stage and go super hard, and they're performing and they're constantly
Hmm.
going and they're moving around the world, and there's so like there's plenty of evidence to say, well, it can't be cannabis that's doing the thing.
Right.
But that's like one of the draws from the other side where they're like, well, it's making you lazy. Well, it's not. I'm it Is it long term, and that's been like that's why everybody needs to do more science, and they need to, yep, right. I actually was thinking about this. I want to talk about really quick.
Sure.
Um Somebody brought it up the other day and they were like, man, I just wish there was more science behind this and more research and more whatever. And then I go and read the research as somebody who understands cannabis, and there's nothing new coming out of it. In the anatomical and physiological, like the very, very small, minuscule things, we're seeing impacts, and we're
Mhm.
seeing, okay, well, this is more of a consistency of how the body digests, or how it interacts with one little aspect of
Right.
the body, which is fine. But like, we know a lot more about this thing than we give ourselves credit for,
Right.
and what it should be used for, it just isn't. And that's, I think, like my biggest thing. I'm like, as much
Yeah.
as I want more research to be done, I just want people to respect what has gone on already, and like, let's use some of the decent information to try to impact larger things before we have to force it through all this scientific testing. And
Well,
it's because cannabis has been scientifically tested.
well, because cannabis has been demonized for so long and politicized for so long, and where we're at is that we're using cannabis for taxes and for other things instead of actually benefiting the medical user.
I just want to know what the fuck research everybody wants done with this thing. It's like we need more research.
Well,
On what? And what are you so scared of that you think we need more research on? Like in it. Okay, that's just me
well,
asking a general question. I get a little bit excited when I toss some time.
we
This
do
is the
need more
one that like
research, but the problem is that a lot of our research is backed by grants funded through like weird loopholes in government funding, and so that we don't necessarily, at least in the United States, we don't get a lot of you know great research because everything has to be politicized then, and it has to be
well,
for some 4 or 5 different political reasons before we can get a grant funded for it. You know what I mean? It's
what
just
is this? This is one of my favorite. Oh my guy, I just broke it. Hold on. Uh biomedicals biomedcentral.com is
mhm.
where I go for a lot of things. It does a lot of cannabis journaling, a lot of cannabis articles, and there's some serious stuff, right? Like um I there's comprehensive understandings of basic interactions
Sure.
of cannabinoids and what they're capable of. And I think as a bingo,
Yeah.
and then like in the search, if you just hit cannabis up there, you're going to find quite a bit of like really good this and like there's articles being dropped quite regularly. Um right. Oh, look right there. Published on April 12th.
Yep.
There you go.
April 12th. April 12th.
So there's new stuff coming out. And I when I read all of these things, right? Like this is where mostly I consume a lot of my like scientific cannabis information. Um
This is a good one. Identifying subgroups of Chinese men who have sex with men based on sexual behavior and drug use patterns using a clustering analysis approach. Huh.
there you go.
I mean, cannabis smoking is associated with persistent epigenome-wide disruptions despite smoking cessation. Hmm.
And see like there is and again, I like to hear things that are like opposing to the idea of using cannabis consistently, but like why? What are we so afraid of? And
Sure.
there is always the same concern, which I everybody's up for. You might not want to smoke the thing all the time, right? Like
Right.
they're burning and inhaling tar producing, and it's not even tar as much as it is like resin producing
Right.
plants might not be the best thing for your lungs long term, might not be the best thing for your cardiovascular system long term. There's plenty of, but then in the
But
same
then you have to
exact breath it's
understand
like, well,
like atoms and carbons and what's positive, what's negative, what's going to affect you, you know what I mean? Like there's a whole other slew of other things that you should then understand to make that decision, you know what I mean, whether it's good or bad.
yeah, I don't know if you heard I think who did I hear talking about? It might have been Andrew Schultz talking about one of his interactions with one of his scientist
Are you
buddies or
sure it wasn't
whatever.
Charlemagne the God?
What's that?
Charlemagne the God.
He was just. I think what
I'm just
Schultz
saying,
was
okay.
saying was that
Yeah.
his scientist friends said that like we consume more microplastics
Hmm.
driving one trip through a major city
Hmm.
than we ever will have a potential to with like drinking out of water bottles. But in your brain, like you're like, oh, drinking out of water bottles is really bad, and we're trying so hard to make a demon out of something
Hmm.
while there are monsters lurking around the corner. And it's like, for me, it's just with cannabis and inhalation being the benefit that it is. And at the it's like a breakthrough therapy, right? It's
Yeah.
so quick, it's so beneficial for so many different things that why wouldn't we use an inhalation method? Um, but two, same argument.
Yep.
Should we be combusting flour products and paper products and whatever the butane is that comes off the lighter? And there's plenty of argument for all that, but like
Yeah.
the benefit, I don't know,
I
risk
think
and
about that.
reward.
I think about that with how much rosin that we smoke, and then I'm cleaning my pieces and stuff, and they're just like, even though I have like a reclaim, because I put a reclaim chamber on the thing because it helps with cleaning, but then there's still like all the gunk that's like in the water on the filter, like
Dude, it gets all the way up
yeah,
into, I mean, like, you
yeah,
can see if my thing ever comes clean,
yeah,
you can see it's all up in the
yeah,
chambers. It's all
exactly.
the way up into the mouthpiece, like, in that
Yeah.
thing. So, yeah.
But it goes back to like the argument that we would say in vaping versus smoking, like analog cigarettes back in the day, is that um, sure, breathing anything other than air is not great, but is vaping vegetable glycerin and which is FDA approved, and FDA approved food flavorings, is that better than smoking cigarettes? Yes, that's better than
Well,
smoking cigarettes. You know
and
what I
and
mean?
that's the
And
whole
so
thing, like,
sometimes you have to just choose the lesser for yourself. Is the point that I'm trying to make?
yeah. Well, and
You know what I mean? I got to stop saying you know what I mean. I say that so
it's
much.
also too,
Jesus.
it's like, it's safe to breathe the air if the air isn't polluted,
Hmm.
right? Like, that's the whole, like, there's plenty of, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you just have to choose the better for yourself. Like, do you care about like if you're feeding yourself or your kids vegetables, like would you rather give your kids like is organic, you grew like great vegetables, or do you want to just buy in the grocery store and take your chances? Like if you really care about it, you like do it for yourself. You understand the variables involved and you choose what's best for you. And that's what you
Yeah.
should do.
And
And that's the
I,
same thing. That's the same way we should use cannabis. You know,
but also to that too, like,
just
let's
want
get
more people
super
to
dork, because
understand.
there's something to be said, like, well, maybe, well, and I think around here we're probably fine, but maybe your ground has some heavy metals that would be
Yeah.
sucked up by them. So maybe you shouldn't be planting in it. But it's all, there's a lot that goes into, like, um anyway,
That's
it's just
why
taking your health into your own hands.
it's funny that you said heavy metals because actually I was listening to some stuff and that's a great segue into I was at the Growcast Cult Cup this weekend listening
Yes.
to somebody talk about humic acid and using humic acid in your soil, and what it can actually do is part of what it can do is it can actually like bind those heavy metals and stop them from being having the plant uptake them, which is
Yeah,
great.
from,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. There's lots of cool stuff in nature that takes care of a lot of those things. But if you are doing like living soil, you should have your soil tested. You know what I mean? Make sure. Make sure you're
Yeah.
not having heavy metals because the number one most important thing, and this is what I always try to say, and if you are growing medicine, you should try to grow the cleanest medicine that you can. That's it. Grow clean medicine. Nothing else matters. Salts, synganics, organics, whatever. Don't care. Grow clean medicine. That's it.
You went to the Growcast.
Yeah.
Was that,
That was cool. That's so Jordan River, growcast.com. He does a lot of educational stuff, and he has like a community, and that was cool. I was out at Emerald Acres. Yeah, I had a really fun time. I didn't know a lot of people, but I saw Briggs. I saw
nice.
Angie from Growing with Intention. She does beautiful hemp canna bonsai, and she has lots of like nice charms, and like she does a meditation thing with hers. Beautiful. Definitely
That's cool.
recommend going to some of her stuff. She's got a 420 on the 19th for any local people. It'll be downtown Oswego somewhere. Follow her on Instagram to figure it out. But 419, she's doing like a class. It's going to be cool. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
thank you to Jordan River. It was just super fun. Everybody was very welcoming, and Emerald Acres is Emerald Acres,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool.
Did you make it to Z's thing on Sunday or no?
I did not. I did not.
Yeah.
I heard it was a good time. I saw some
I saw
pictures from Charlie.
I saw some video from Charlie and stuff too.
Nice.
It looks super cool. I wish
Yeah.
I mean, I was out of state, but I wish I could have made it. That would be cool.
Hell yeah.
Someday.
One of
I
these
need a
days.
bonsai.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was your weekend in Michigan?
I love that place.
I know you do. I know you
I love
do.
it. I went into one dispensary because they had 50% off posted on Jeters, and I went in. I said, "All right, do you got any of the kiwi ones?" No. All right, I'll take a couple of them. Went down the street. I said, "Hey, you guys match prices, right?" Yep. All right, they're doing 50% off there. The guy goes, "Oh yeah, we're doing 60% off here." And I was like, "No, the fuck you! You're just making fun of me now." And he was like, "No, I'm being dead serious." So I was like, "Fuck,
Hmm,
just wasted my money up the street." No, not really, but
That's awesome. Oh,
um,
shout out to I got to meet the Flower Farm. Do you follow him?
no,
You should. Great content on Instagram. He was at the Growcast thing. That was super fun.
no.
Um, hell yeah. Let's get into some let's do plugs real quick.
Oh,
And then oh yeah. Do plugs real quick. And then we can get on with some news because we got some cool news. You can find us, the Elevated News Podcast with Two Dope Dudes, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your other favorite streaming podcast apps. Two Dope Dudes YouTube channel. Please give us a like, leave a review to all our Spotify and podcast listeners. We appreciate you. You can find us on supportdopepeople.com, along with links to all our other stuff that we do and free stickers just by providing your email and address. And then you can email us at twodopedudespodcast@gmail.com for any questions or things you want us to talk about, David.
and on Thursday, if you're not doing anything, you may talk to me directly live on YouTube. Peace, love, and cope. Let me help you take your health back in your own hands with this plant that we love.
Oh, yeah.
And just come hang out. It's a great time. Bunch of friends just kind of BSing. But cannabis really is
Oh, yeah.
the reason why.
Speaking of, I did not go play disc golf yesterday morning, but I did get to go hang out with the Growing Goat in his live Sunday morning.
Oh, dude.
And yeah, shout out to him. And
He's cool.
yeah, super cool. Started
cool dude.
talking about organics, and he said, "I need somebody to teach me organics." And I said, "Well, I'm that guy, dude."
Hell
So
yeah.
I emailed him after the show and gave him my info, and hopefully we talk soon, and I can get him started on some cool stuff.
He's a super cool dude. I ended up sending him a bandana and a
He showed off the gray and purple disc that you sent him. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
It's like I went into my box. I was like, dude, I don't have anything but heaters in here right
Mm-hmm.
now. So I guess that's what you get, bro.
Hey, man, I would have taken that one. I got a couple. I got one that I throw in my backyard. I've hit it off the cage a couple times now from
Nice.
the patio. Yeah, I'm like,
Nice.
ooh, this is nice.
Yeah, no, community's great.
Yeah, no, he's super cool, and I'm happy to help anybody who has any growing questions or wants to know about organics or anything. Let's talk. Information should be free, and we should help each other out. You know what I mean? I got to stop saying you know what I mean. It's one of those things I hear in editing, like because I listen 3 times, and yeah, you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got some YouTube comments to go through
Let's hear 'em.
because we haven't. It's been so long. So this is from our episode 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I turn that off. Blood Hunter 4946. Texas is such a shit state. Hell yeah. House of Banditos is here. House of Banditos, you remember them? Best barbecue sauce with a kick. We used
Oh
to keep
yeah,
them on
yeah,
our
yeah,
table
yeah,
back in the day.
yeah.
Buddy Corey, Kind Buds, Dank Nugs. Best spot to be on Wednesday afternoons. If you're not here, what are you doing with your life? Hey,
Wow.
yeah.
He
Great
gets it.
show. Monday nights, Corey Kind Buds has a show. We've talked about it before. And I have ADD and I can't think of what it is right now. So I feel like an asshole. But Monday nights, I don't think it's What's Growing On. It's, anyway.
I will. Yeah,
uh,
like and follow.
yeah, like and follow. I love you, dude. Sorry. And this one is with guest Z from Bonsai Bakery. Macho Grams Be Savage. Great show with great information. Can of Bonsai is a great way to be in the moment. Love seeing him and all his beautiful plants at the events. Hell yeah.
Yes.
The
Well,
Shadow 3001. Excellent show, gentlemen, as always. Like that,
thank
dude.
you.
Like that, dude. Always commenting, always being positive. We appreciate the fuck out of you. My buddy Daily Homegrown, always a great show. Josh was an awesome guest, great guy. Love popping over here on Wednesdays for the premiere. Breaks up the work week a bit and gives me something to look forward to. Getting over the hump, chatting with good people, and staying up with culture and news. Keep killing it.
Oh, I love me some
Yeah,
Daily.
dude.
That's it.
Colin's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy out in Quad Cities. And then Cole from the Cole Memo. Oh, hell yeah. Definitely be watching this back tomorrow morning. Like button smashed.
Let's go,
And then chat replay. Let me,
dude. We have.
I
There
know,
are
dude.
some. Yeah, it's so cool that is regularly happening.
Here we go. John Voight, usually the first one. Chi Town Hi Fi. Mr. Rourke.
Yeah.
Corey Kindbuds. There's you. Look at you.
Wow.
Dave's been showing up in chat. It's the best. More John Voight and Josh. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes these go we have lots of lots of chatting, sometimes it's no chatting. You never know what you're going to get, but it's good times. You should come join the chat. It's the best part. Yeah, Daily Homegrown, Cole Memo, same people. Macho Grams, John Boyd. I mean, we just got the coolest people. But hey, here's some news.
Woo!
Illinois Department of Public Health released, and this is from April 3rd, and we have not done news since I think March, right? I think we've had guests both
Yeah, it's
weeks.
been a while.
Yeah. So March 2025 medical cannabis sales totals. Retail sales of medical cannabis for March reached 22 million to outpace January and February totals, but was still lower than the last 4 previous March totals and all but one monthly total in 2024. And it's
Yep.
like, yep. So just dropping. Retail sales of medical cannabis for March totaled $10,816,859.45. Dry flower. What's that, Dave?
I would like to see at some point what because he does month to month comparisons. I should hit up Jason and tell him to let me see like the gram to gram month thing. I could probably go back and look at it historically, but I'd like to see how many grams were decreasing by a month.
Well, I'm assuming
And you
so. This is where he is taking this information from.
right. What does that say?
Basically the same thing.
1.298.
Yeah.
Oh, that's this month.
Ye-
That's what we got right
Yeah,
here.
that's literally now.
All
So,
right.
but like you could go
Hit
back and
February really quick and let me just see. Oh,
sure.
February sucks. Go to January because it's 31 days. Yeah, see, we sold more grams of cannabis this month. Oh, although obviously the total's bigger too, but like, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's by a whole bunch, right?
Mm-mm.
I mean, the unique number of patients is staying pretty consistent. I think it was at like 60K last year at some point,
Yeah.
but this says 56. So like
Well, it says
there's again 60 right
how
there.
many they've served, not how many there are.
No. I know.
Okay.
I
I'm
know.
just saying.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, how consistent is this market showing up or not showing up? Um,
I mean,
it
it
seems
seems
pretty consistent. The numbers are dropping, but like the only reason I even asked that question is because I'm wondering if it's because of price compression or because that would be cool, or access to cheaper product because of competition, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just
by the way, speaking of, it's 420 and we're talking about medical. I did see because I do get a lot of people that ask me about medical cards and how to get a medical card. And
oh,
I'm always happy to answer those questions and tell people, hey, if you have these symptoms, you can just apply. If not, then you need to see somebody else, see a doctor to be diagnosed, and there's people that help. But I know that Canna Equity Illinois is partnering with LeafWell for 420, and I think they're doing like 42% off. Check out Canna Equity Illinois on Instagram. I think there's a post about it, but it just came into my head. 42% off is, a pretty good discount. So
that's cool.
yeah.
And honestly, too, we're all some of us are very tight in budget, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not that it's inexpensive, it's that it's a very worthwhile investment if you have
Yes.
the funds to come up front for it.
Yes.
Um, yeah, for many different protections in the cannabis space in Illinois, at least. Yeah.
Correct. And I have a feeling they're going to start making it harder. So yeah, medical sales totals are down, and then guess what? They announced rec sales totals for February 2025. So it says here, after kicking off 2025 with the highest January sales total since legalization, February sales dipped to the lowest monthly total since January 2023, and for only the second time since legalization. That's 2020, not 2013. Monthly sales totals decreased from the previous year's monthly totals.
Oh,
February sales, February 2025 sales totals dipped to 130 million, nearly 5 million less
wow.
than February 2024 totals of
Whoa, that's
135 million.
big.
That's huge. The only other monthly total that decreased year over year was December. December 2024 totals reach 153 million, while December 2023 finished at 100.
Oh, that's a
Okay,
seven
so
hundred
that's
thousand dollar difference,
$700,000.
though.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god. Well, and I
Uh,
wonder, there's a lot there.
that's
Um,
crazy, dude.
I mean, dude, yeah, yeah. Lots of I could go on a rant. I'm not gonna, but
Oh,
that's cool.
hey.
Oh, yes.
Oh, this is not just for cannabis. Okay, never mind.
No, you're perfectly fine.
Never mind. That's not what I want to look at. Anyway,
I know which one you do want to look at though, because this
what
next, I don't know if you're still on these sales numbers or not. What do you expect? Do cannabis better.
do
The
cannabis
thing is,
better?
you know why I can tell you what happened in February? I fucking quit.
Yeah,
That's what happened. Illinois cannabis said that they could feel it. It was an earthquake. It rumbled through the whole fucking yeah. Sucks
dude.
to suck, Illinois cannabis.
Sucks to
You could give me
suck.
back. I've been asking a few people to give me back.
Yeah,
No, and
good
I want to
luck.
do it. I don't know. Never mind. Just
No,
want to do it right. I wish
yeah,
somebody would let
it's
me do it
hard.
right.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
Golly.
Do you have anything more to say about that, Dave?
No.
About okay.
No.
Um, I mean, I feel like we all know what the problem in Illinois is that we're not being honest with what we're using cannabis for. Cannabis is not for the consumer. There's not protections for the consumer because the state doesn't care about the consumer. What they care about is generating tax revenue to pay for the insolvency of the state.
Yeah. Well, Yeah.
Until we demand that there's that they excuse me,
like
until we demand that they actually care about us and actually write laws for us,
can I tell you what
then
though?
what?
Because this is the
What?
thing. All right.
What's
Why
the
did I
thing?
quit again? Is because it's not just the state misrepresenting us. There are fucking
The
big
people.
players in this shit that
Yeah.
are misrepresenting us. Like a lot of people who have worked in the cannabis space have been burnt the hell out by people who misrepresented them. And then there's just a bad taste in Illinois cannabis. And the people who keep doing it, they literally told me before I quit. And one of the big reasons I quit was because they said, we're going to put our pedal to the metal. We're going to put our foot to the floor and we're really going to start driving sales. Sales is the biggest part of this. We really need the rev. And I was like, yo, I fucking hear you, but you're failing in other parts of this. You're not
Yeah,
doing the cannabis thing that
but they don't
everybody
have
fucking
to
is.
because the state doesn't care about that. Dude, think about it. Like if we would have had a serious program, like an actual like real world cannabis program that made sense and was serious, people would have came into Illinois and they would have been serious. Instead, it's been a debacle. It's all
Well,
about how
they're
much money can you make. And so of course all the cannabis companies are filled with people who don't represent it because it doesn't represent us.
they're
The market doesn't represent us. So the
we
people in the
literally have
cannabis
a bunch of
companies,
border pirates.
yeah,
They're literally people trying to take money from other states.
yeah,
They rely heavily on out of state revenue
yeah.
because there's so many layers to probably why, but one of the biggest ones is this does not feel like cannabis. Who the fuck wants to
It's
walk
not.
into a place where you're force fed some garbage about THC percentages and that's all the people get to buy shit off of? And it's just such a
And of course we tax based on THC percentage, so we have no incentive to fudge the numbers at all, right?
lit and how fun.
How
Yeah.
fun.
Anyway,
But we're going to have our own Illinois state lab to make sure, and we don't necessarily list all the recalls that Michigan does. Michigan's having lots of recalls lately.
yeah.
Lots of recalls. But hey, one thing I did want to the last thing I did want to talk about, or at least for our news, and this was discussed on the 11th. Cole did from the Cole memo, did something on this right away that night, and I watched it, and you should too on YouTube. So this is from I'm reading this from Capital News Illinois, which is a nonpartisan. They just talk about what's going on in the government. Senate Bill 42, sponsored by Senator Rachel Ventura, is a response to a September 2024 Illinois Supreme Court decision that held that the smell of burnt cannabis alone was insufficient to cause probable cause for searching a vehicle without a warrant. In a separate opinion from December, however, the court ruled that the odor of raw cannabis coming from a vehicle is sufficient evidence to provide officers with probable cause for a smell because the smell suggests cannabis is not being transported in an odor-proof container as required by state law. Both of those decisions stem from Illinois landmark legislation passed in 2019 legalizing adult use of recreational marijuana statewide. Like I said, not very well thought out laws. Senate bill calls for repealing one requirement in that law that cannabis in a vehicle be kept in an odor-proof container, but it continues to require that cannabis be kept in a sealed or reusable or child-resistant container that is inaccessible. I know that Cole from the Cole memo was down very recently in the Capitol with some dispensary purchased odor proof containers that and then they were in there advocating for this stuff, but I heard that you could smell it through the container. So what really is odor proof? That's the point, is it none of it's odor proof.
Have
Like
you ever
even the
been
stuff,
inside a dispensary before?
yeah, smells like weed. Smells like weed,
Um,
man.
the the problem with this is it's literally forever for fucking ever been the access for these people to kidnap you on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And they don't want to stop that. They don't want to not
Correct.
have the ability to kidnap you whenever they want to.
The state has a monopoly on violence, and the
Yeah.
state wants to continue to have their monopoly on violence.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't need.
But this is the way to change it, is in Congress. And so I don't have any problem with this, because their argument was, this is why we can use this reason. Now they'll find another reason, but taking away this reason is fantastic.
Let's all.
So this is only passed in the Senate. It still has to go to the House and then to JB, but it's a start.
Let's all be very clear in this, because a year ago or 2 years ago, when this story came out for the first time and people were talking about this bill, everybody said cannabis odor in the car does not allow them. And I had a bunch of friends posting about it on Facebook, and they can't fucking search us, you pigs, or whatever. And I was like, no. Here's the thing. First of all, I don't
can do
really
whatever they
care
want.
if there's really something that I'm not a big cop fan. But I'm not a big cop fan when you've overstepped, right? And it's more the idea that I've been pulled out of my car multiple times because of the smell of cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking work at dispensaries.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wearing a weed bandana. You don't smell shit.
Right.
All right. And every time that you've smelt cannabis and you've never pulled me out with anything, what the fuck are we talking about? There's just this weird thing that like constantly occurs. And I just wish that would stop. Let's be very clear. That is what everybody's pushing for. And that's what this bill definitely proposes. But still, you are not protected, and be very, very careful while transporting, even because it's all just who you run into.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because if the guy's having a bad day and you just be compliant, be cool, you
if
buy
they've
yourself
just decided
legally
that you're the asshole, it doesn't matter how polite you are. If they've already decided that you're the asshole, they're gonna get you.
Oh, 1,000%.
You know what I mean?
It's just in the moment, fighting for your rights to transport or carry or possess cannabis seems silly to me. Just let it go. All right, fine. Fight this one out, because it's going to be a petty fucking fine where a lot of times you are protected by some level of law. You might be, right? But right now, this isn't the one where it's like the smell of burnt cannabis could potentially still be the reason why you get fucking incriminated. So don't be burning joints while you're rolling down the street, my friends.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Because that's literally what the last time this came up, I promise you, it was everywhere on Facebook. Every single person was like,
I'm
hoorah!
sure.
Yeah. But this is very cool. Glad that it passed the Senate. There is still, until JB's signature goes on something, don't get too excited.
Yeah, no, again, this just passed the Senate, and we're just in the spring session now, where things start to get moved and voted on and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll have some more news coming this summer. Hopefully we have some good stuff. I hear, and I want to verify, I heard that they're trying to pull another omnibus this year. And they've tried to throw in a whole bunch of things into one big bill. And I actually got to talk to Maddie, because I hear maybe the Consumption Act bill got thrown into that too. And so now it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
But that's just something I heard secondhand. I got to confirm with Maddie before, so don't take that as word. But that's what I heard. Shit. So, hey, since we don't have a guest today, Dave's Conditional Cannabis Corner.
Woo!
I still, at one of these times, I got to create a splash screen for it as we do it more.
Yeah.
But I just like to have it happen organically, and then I just, use that, and then it's easy, and I don't have to think about it and be creative.
Dave's Conditional Cannabis Corner. No, don't use that. Damn it. I was going to try super hard. I'll give you something someday, but not today. All right. Anyway,
I might
the
use
big
that.
one, What's that?
Dave's Conditional Cannabis Corner. No, don't use that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that might.
Layer both of us singing it and put
Yeah,
some auto tune in it, maybe.
I
No,
could.
anyway, this is one of my this is where it all kind of started, where my
Yeah,
brain started to go, wait a moment,
yeah.
there's something, okay? Pain in fibro patients. All right. Um, the reason why I wanted to talk about pain in fibro patients, I'm sorry if this one gets just a little bit longer, but it's because the pain that fibro patients tend to experience is caused by inflammation. Okay. Pain is a thing, but pain isn't a thing. Pain is neuropathy, headache, spasticity, inflammation, arthritis. There's actually purpose to why we feel a thing. And I had somebody come in early in cannabis who said, I want to deal with my pain. And I said, okay, let's do it. What kind of pain are you experiencing? Can I ask you if that's okay? Yeah, it's like kind of all over. Oh, okay. Um, do you mind? Is it okay for me to ask what medical condition? Fibromyalgia. Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. The reason why I say perfect is because now we understand that fibromyalgia is literally a condition of of chronic inflammation.
Mhm.
There's there's no source to it. A lot of times we don't really know. Um, it tends to be a fallback for um, medical doctors. And if somebody hears this and gets mad at me, I promise you, a lot of people who just go in and go, ouch, ouch,
Mhm.
ouch. And we've looked at it under a microscope and we've looked at it with tests and everything, and we don't know what's going on. Well, it's chronic inflammation.
Yeah.
The idea that you are going through some sort of inflaming, and we all deal with it because of gravity. Anyway, we get classified as a fibro patient a lot of times. Now, there is fibro is a thing; it's very real, and plenty of people suffer from fibro. And I'm
Right.
not discrediting it. I'm telling you that it is inflammation,
Yep.
and the best thing we have for inflammation reduction, um, depending on how you consume, is probably CBD.
Well, isn't
Um,
fibro just a collection of symptoms of inflammation within the body that they call fibromyalgia, right? So, like, if you have a certain number of inflammations, problems that you have, it could be almost classified as fibromyalgia, so that not that it's over diagnosed, but it's you know,
we've started to call
does that make sense?
a lot of people use the word chronic pain now, right? It's just chronic pain. I
Hashtag
just
thanks,
always
Florida.
feel the pain of life and whatever it is. Even if Because I think the main thing is like calling it a condition allows for it to be put
A
into a
treatment?
category where we like understand what the symptoms of that are,
Sure.
right? So
A
that if you're
classification.
right, but like you as an individual are still an individual. So your
Yes.
case of fibro is different than the other cases of
100%.
fibro that
Yeah.
exist, where there will be commonalities, but the commonality is inflammation.
Right.
And um, so for pain, right? I think more, I did this thing to say pain is many things.
Mhm.
Fibro is pain, but it's
Many.
inflammation. And to
Yeah.
treat your inflammation, we keep a consistency of CBD in the system. Um, we digest edible, so something that we've eaten and are digesting in our system.
Mhm.
We are digesting at about a I think it's 5 to 7 with CBD. I think it digests a little bit quicker than THC does, but maybe I'm wrong. But it's about a 6 to 8 hour digestion rate, right? So if we use the thing for 3 times a day, 4 or 3, 4 if it's 6 and 3 if it's 8, right? But
Sure.
if we use it 3 times a day and we separate them by about an 8 hour thing, we consistently have CBD in our system, there's a better chance that we're absorbing CBD altogether. Now, when I talked about earlier in this thing where like the box and THC is hunting us through the box, CBD can be the thing that is shrinking what the box is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Where maybe our box has kind of hit its capacity and it's at the walls and it's like, oh, everything kind of sucks. We can get out of that with CBD. I don't think THC will ever pull you out of your box being at a bursting point or something where you're just at the edge and you're like, fuck, this sucks.
Right.
That's going to require something of a CBD, a consistency to slow to bring that box down to something realistic.
Mm-hmm.
And visually speaking, like I used to say a lot of times, like if a single muscle fiber looks like it's just in between the hands, right? And then we kind of like we're like that's perfect, right? 16, we get a little sports injury. Oh, there we go. It gets a little bit more pulled out, but like, it kind of comes back. We're young and whatever. But then like it's not this anymore, right? It's like here, right? So then
Mm-hmm.
like now the next time we get a little bit older and things just kind of stretch, like we're deteriorating, right? We're
Yep.
not just this little tight whatever anymore. Now it's
Right.
all just kind of inflaming, everything's whatever. In that muscle, if that single muscle is just at its breaking point, everything is just stretched out and tensed and to its CBD will give the alleviation to this thing where it's like, all right, stop like hurting so much. Just give me some relief, some
Mm-hmm.
tension relief. And then like past that, there's excess cannabinoids that can kind of shrink and help whatever. But instead of being at that
Yeah.
edge of where the muscles just shot, we can kind of reduce that inflammation. We can keep it at at least comfort zone. And then there's excess cannabinoids, excess terpenoids, better ways of eating, better ways of exercising that can help that, whatever. But
Sure.
just as a symptom alleviant, just as the inflammation reducer, I beg people to, especially if they know that they have inflammation, to consider using CBD consistently. Keep it in your system 24 hours a day for like a month and see what different the results are. And
Yeah.
the amount of people have come back and been like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean,
Daily Homegrown was doing the CBG every day for a month for a while
yeah,
there, and then when we checked in with him, he said he was loving it and he was increasing.
yeah.
And I
Well, and
think
that's it too.
that's something we should talk about sometime too. Is the fact that the gummies and the CBD gummies in Illinois are not even. Um, they should raise the limit on how much CBD they put into the gummies in Illinois, and then because then it comes into another thing: is how much sugar are you? If you're eating gummies, how much sugar are you eating? What are you consuming? What is that doing to your diet?
But
Just
even,
to get the benefits of the CBD. That's why they should raise the CBD,
well, even then,
and
like,
then. So, do you think it's better to take it in like just capsule form or edibles? You know what I mean? I know what you're going to say. Smoke it.
no, personally, I would encapsulate it.
Okay.
I mean, me personally, whenever I've ever had access to,
Mhm.
I'll shamelessly say the word sweet pea oil from Shelby County for
Yeah.
the rest of my life.
Sure.
That product is so welly made and so it actually works. I've used it many a times myself.
Yep.
I've watched a lot of parents encapsulate that
Sure.
and get very, very good success from it. So, I myself used to encapsulate it. That's
Yeah.
what I sent to my pops right before
Yeah.
he ended up passing. He was even okay with eating some of those sometimes because they didn't.
Well,
I
because
mean, it's
they're
CBD.
in
It's not
like
getting you high.
sunflower lectin oil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know my buddy down at Sun Drench Farms makes those, and they're super awesome. But yeah, we should talk about that should be a future episode. Not today because we're coming up on time, but
Yeah.
future episode we should talk about CBD and the levels in Illinois, maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
there's
an
people
idea.
doing it good, and there's
Yeah.
people that, like I said, I just left a spot that was doing a 20-to-1 that had
Nice.
2,000 milligrams of
Let's go.
CBD in a package with 100 milligrams of THC.
Yes.
A lot of people, I think we're using it for the CBD aspect of it, and they said it was a little lackluster in the THC field, but I believe that having that abundance of CBD would cause for the THC to not be as
Yeah.
punchy or whatever. CBD tends to kind of
That sounds
s-
great though. Like
limit
to
them.
because like people like me who like I like to get high at some points, but like most of the time I like to get just a little bit high. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then kind of like float through the day. And like that'd be great for me. Like a whole bunch of CBD and then just a little bit to, get the day started.
Well, and for like
You
a,
know.
somebody like me or you, I guess whatever whoever's out
Yeah.
there, the pros that listen,
Sure.
I would eat 5, 10 of these
Yeah.
gummies at a time. So I'm getting 500 to 1,000
Yeah.
milligrams of CBD.
That's awesome.
And a lot of times, yeah, I mean, you're dealing with a different level of comfort. It's a little more, if my knee is in pain from throwing all day or the ankles or whatever, I'm smacking CBD, no doubt,
Yeah.
every time.
No doubt.
Yep.
Oh yeah, dude.
All
Well,
right.
hey man, good show.
Yeah.
Love
Thanks.
love Dave's conditional cannabis corner. You got anything else to say before we wrap up?
No, thanks to everybody who listens and watches the show.
For sure. We're nearing 400 subscribers, dude. It's pretty awesome. We're
It
nearing
is pretty
400
cool.
subscribers. This is episode 87. We'll be coming up on 2 years in, I think it's going to be towards the end of July because we took a couple week break. You were on vacation a couple times. I was on vacation once. So instead of June, it'll be July. But yeah, we'll be coming up on 2 years here soon.
Yeah.
It's
No,
freaking
I think that's
awesome.
just it. I'm so like, there's people in this space that like I look up to and I think are doing some really, really cool things that have been willing to come on, share
Yeah.
their experience with us. Cole, I know you. I hope you're listening to me. I know you're hearing me right now. I can't wait to get Cole on here and talk a
Yeah.
little bit more. And like, there's a lot of people who, again, it was Jason the other day. It's
Yeah.
it's Mark when he's around. It's even then.
Charlie.
Like
Yeah.
I'm so into all of like Daily Homegrown, Macho, Chi-Town Hi-Fi,
Mhm.
Alyssa and Angelo, like the
Yeah.
the people that
Hung
are
out with
just
them at
so
the Growcast
consistently.
this weekend and at sessions.
Yeah.
Uh, Elisa and Angelo are so awesome.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. The community around this thing is
Mhm.
everything that cannabis should be. I'm
Yep.
so pumped that is just what keeps happening
Yep.
inside this place, and I'm grateful that you've set this all up and you're bringing me
Oh
along
yeah.
with it because
Mm.
I'm
I'm
I'm this is one of my favorite things that happens in the cannabis space, honestly. It's
yeah,
just
dude. It's been a wild ride. It's been really cool and it's awesome. I feel like we're finally just starting to get some recognition within the industry a little bit and it's pretty cool. But
and I say some silly things, bro. I listen
yeah.
to myself sometimes. I'm like, get to the point, bud. Say what you gotta say. But I mean, it's not scripted. None of what you
That's
or I ever say on this thing comes
no.
off of a piece of paper. Even when we bring in guests, there's never like hey, we need to ask them these questions.
Yeah.
No, I want to just have raw, organic conversation
Right.
around the space that is cannabis because
And
there is
whatever happens
plenty of,
happens.
well, and that's it. The organicness and the anecdotal experience of each one of us, regardless of if it's personal or if you've watched it across from you,
Mhm.
all of this positivity that exists around this plant and in this space, how cool. And
It's
to
so
even
cool.
be alongside of it, I'll look like the big buffoon. I'll talk too much if I need to so that this thing can continue because I cannabis done proper needs to happen. It
Yep.
just and there's
And
a
it
lot
needs
of people doing it right, and that's
yep,
what this whole thing has been. Support the dope ones who are doing
that's
it
right.
right, and the
Advocate for the good and just be genuine and that's all we've ever tried to do and you make it easy. I've always wanted to just get your perspective out there more and get your message out there more because
I
I
appreciate
think
that.
it's absolutely important because I'm a peacekeeper. So
I,
you know, hey,
hey, I do. I just love this plant, and I love people, and
yep,
I think that with the plant, we can make the people better.
that's right. We're doing it. Atomic bong, man.
Dude, that's what I want.
I know. Hey, we love you all. Smoke weed every day. Peace.
Later, yeah.
Yo, ding dong, we're done here. Time to go.